Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Predator 1/6 scale figure unboxing and retro review. Today, we're taking a look back at Elder Predator 2.0 from the second Predator movie. I've been meaning to grab this piece for years, and I'm so excited to finally be unboxing it. Now, if you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new Predator content goes live. I don't know why it took me so long to finally get this. Like I said, this has been on my radar for a very long time. Ever since I first laid eyes on it in Dean Knight's collection back in the day, I've been speaking to him at length about it, more so recently, and he insists that it's a must-have. It potentially is Hot Toys' best, most realistic Predator of all time. This piece, knowing all of that, should have been in my collection for years. But I'm now rectifying that mistake. Here it is. As for the box art, it's 2014 era Hot Toys box artwork, clean, simple, but very classy. An image of the actual figure up front, letting the piece inside the box shine versus going with an image from the movie or something, so I appreciate that. Then the two-tone effect with the orange and black looks fantastic, and up top, Elder Predator in metallic copper-colored foil. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs. They're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. Check out the shine on that copper foil on the side of the box. It just blends in with all of the orange accents for the rest of the artwork. We've got this scratchy look for the background, then some techie elements, as well as his name up top. On the back of the box, in this orange frame of sorts, warnings, legal information, and their store locations. Only 3 of them, because back in the day, they had far fewer stores than they do in 2025. The netting on the frame surrounding the open window showcasing the figure inside, bloody brilliant the way they've done that. It just adds to the unboxing experience. It extends round to the side, wraps around to the back, and we've got this two-tone effect once again with the black and orange. Back here, the cast and crew responsible for making this piece. I wish they'd do this nowadays because it's always good to see which artists were involved with making a figure. Before we do this, before we get this piece out here, something you need to know. If you're planning on picking up Elder Predator 2.0 and a lot of the older Preds, pleather. They will have pleather issues. So go in knowing full well that that's something you're going to have to either fix or replace or just ignore entirely. First in-hand impressions for Elder 2.0. This figure is a beast of a thing, so hefty, and I'm loving what I'm seeing so far with the netting and the weathering on the armor, and of course, that head sculpt. What we're going to do now is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. There is more than this in the box, a necklace with bone trophies on it, and a crossbody sculpted plastic satchel bag with bone trophies on it. I've already installed them on him because I see them as part of his outfit versus being accessories. Starting off with the display base first, 2014 figure means 2014 staple oval style display base. It would have been cool to get a section of the ship like a diorama style base, but they weren't really doing that back then, only every now and then. Up top, movie logo, his name around the front, then a height adjustable crotch grabber. The vibe that I get from Elder Predator is a little bit piratey. Like, the weapons that he comes with tells you all you need to know about the era in which Elder Predator was hunting. This is like a fishbone-inspired dagger or sword. There's a lot of texture on the surface, plenty of weathering. The sculpted wraps down below look good. A bone trophy, a little foot perhaps, hanging off it with real string. And there's this bone section at the bottom that's done in ivory first, then there's a brown wash over the top. this has a spot to holster on his outfit, I'll show you a little bit later. The flintlock. This thing is detailed to the nines. Nothing moves on it, but it looks the part. The metallics, the washes, the inscription you can actually read. This is to the Predator franchise what the Graflex lightsaber hilt is to Star Wars. We just keep seeing it over and over again. First in Predator 2, then in Prey, and most recently in Killer of Killers. I'm glad to have an official 1/6 scale version of this. Now that I think about it, we probably should have received it with the Feral Predator as well. Oh, remember when they used to do this? Die-cast blades. That shine, you just can't fake it. There's some weight to them, they're cold to the touch, and they're pretty prickly, so be careful when you're installing these into his gauntlet. Just grab them on either side, not top and bottom, otherwise you will tear the shit out of your fingers. This is a weird one. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. It's a dreadlock tie, like a hair tie of sorts. You pop this around multiple dreadlocks. The instructions tell you where to put it, but the dreads are made of rubber. This is PVC plastic. It'll put a lot of pressure on them. Slightly dangerous to have this installed long term, I think. The detail on these hands is perfect. The reptilian skin, the sculpted gloves, the spiky knuckle bits, how the fingernails actually stick out past the tips of his fingers. This closed fist, because Preds have long fingernails, they need to do this. They have their fingers just sitting on their palms and their thumbs sticking out, because otherwise they would spike themselves with their long talons. Those were the two closed fists. These are splayed out finger open palm hands. Different sculpt work, different gestures from left to right. This thumb is sticking further out versus the other. And different paint applications. Dots on this palm for the right side, but not the left. Lastly, a trigger finger hand for the right and a gripping hand for the left. So he could foreseeably hold that flintlock if you wanted him to. The fingers are soft enough, just soft enough, you can pry them open and pop the weapons in there without grabbing a hairdryer. It's better to be safe than sorry though, 2014 plastic. I would still recommend heating them up first. What we're going to do now is get the Elder Predator himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that, but he doesn't need any of that. Presence comes naturally to this piece. He's got this commanding look and feel about him. I can't quite describe it. It's a vibe that you will get in person. The proportions are so good. Then the armor plating, the paint applications, the sculpt work on display there. But most importantly, the detail. You're going to hear me say that word a lot in this video, and I apologize in advance for that. Prepare yourself. Detail is next level. The head sculpt, it oozes personality. The closed but slightly open mandibles still, you can see the mouth inside there. The piercing green eyes, the blue dreadlocks. The color breakup is on point. But that's the figure itself. Let's talk about the main reason why I decided to get this finally. Because Stan Winston Studio, they based the Elder Predator costume that the actor on set was wearing for Predator 2 on the Jungle Hunter. They pulled that suit out of the archives, modified it, repainted it, changed certain bits and pieces of it to give us the Elder. So, in a way, this is the evolution of the Jungle Hunter from a prop-making perspective. In universe, no, but there are ties to that original Jungle Hunter with this look for a Predator. And that little tidbit, that bit of information, sealed the deal for me. Dude, this head sculpt is unbelievable. The detail is perfect. The spikies up top, the real quills, these are not painted on. Well, some of them are, but the ones that are meant to stick out off the head, they do. And they're not rubber. These are proper sturdy sculpted plastic quills. There's even a piercing through one of his mandibles here with a real metal loop through it. His tusks are broken. They look aged and dirty and grimy. The sunken in eyes with that bright green iris poking out from the shadows. The dots, the multiple shades of paint for skin. Now I'm just going through a list of things that impress me about this head sculpt. I could go on and on for days because it truly is one of the best Predator head sculpts I have ever seen from them. They cooked with this sculpt. We've not even discussed the blue, spotty dreads yet. One of the most visually interesting things about this head. But the red shading in that crevice right there looks so gross. Like the whole thing has this glossy shine to it. You almost don't want to touch it. It's so reptilian. But it isn't perfect. There's one complaint I have. One little complaint. There's a seam right there. You can't see it from most angles, but that's where they plugged the mandibles in when they assembled this at the factory. You can also see some little seams up front. From a distance, the tusks hide those seams anyway, but still something to be aware of. It might seem weird, but the blue dreads were actually one of the main reasons why I copped this. They're so different, they're so unique to this version of Predator. We've got the darker blue spots on them, the little beads, they're all individually painted, and we've got some tassels with trophies and beads mixed in with the dreadlocks. Some are even tied around certain dreads. They're all individual beads as well on pieces of string, so they're nice and flexible. So far, my dreads aren't showing any signs of degradation or wear and tear, but they are made of rubber, so I will be keeping a close eye on them. They've included this little dread tie thing. You're meant to pop 3 dreads in this. Like I said in the accessory segment, I'm nervous about doing that. Putting that much pressure on rubber pieces, clamping them together, they could crack at the top of the head or where this piece sits on them. Yeah, I'm not brave enough to install this. And it's around the back anyway. Once you've installed it, you're never going to lay eyes on it again. You may as well just leave it off. His dreads are soft and flexible enough, you can bring some of them around the front, covering up the shoulder joint right there, the beads too. I like to split the difference, leave some of the dreads dangling down his back and grab a few of them to sit them over his shoulders. That ribbed neck seal is sculpted plastic. It's a nice soft sculpted plastic. It slides underneath this chest armor, which is a free floating piece on the body, but that keeps it locked down and in place when you start to move the head sculpt round. This necklace was already installed on him right out of the box. The bag I had to do myself, then same thing with the much larger trophy necklace. The instructions say don't remove the head sculpt to do it, but I found that was just the easiest way to install those pieces. So don't forget, most of the armor is reused from Jungle Hunter. Stan Winston Studio, they based the look of Elder Pred on the original Predator costume. So the plasma caster looks similar to me. He's got the backpack. You can't open this. There's no medkit inside of it. But the detail is awesome. The mottled metal texture, the different scratches, the really fine ones right there. The black wash bringing out all that detail. Then the lighter gold dry brushing. You can see it on this section right here. But the plasma caster. This is sturdy as. Usually with Hot Toys Predators, this is the first thing to get loose and floppy. A 2014 figure has a solid plasma caster. When I opened the box and I moved this thing around, I honestly couldn't believe it. Hinge at the base, hinge right there, then a ball joint for the plasma caster itself so you can move it up and down and left and right. The stored position is just facing straight down. I reckon that's what I'm going to go with. They've tried to busy it up with the necklaces and the bag and the belts and all of the extra bits and pieces, the flourishes. It's worked. It doesn't look exactly like Jungle Hunter. I can still see the original Predator in here. And the shape of the body. Kevin Peter Hall in the costume, he wasn't overly massive, but there was a bulkiness to him, a fullness as Dean describes it. You can see how the belly sticks out a bit as it pinches in towards the belt area. We've got visible joints for his elbows, less so on this side versus the other. You could always add like a little strap or something over the top, but the reason why I bring up the elbows is the biceps above them, still pretty rounded and sizable. Then same thing with the shoulders, the proportions, they look solid as on this. The pleather. This loincloth, it used to be made out of pleather. Now it's looking felty because all of the pleather has just peeled away as I've been recording this. Then this multi-segmented stitched pad underneath these sculpted plastic belts, that was pleather. Now that's peeling away. All of this stuff is at the back, not super noticeable. It sounds like I'm making excuses. I promise I'm not. It's still really annoying that those things are flaking. I wish they were made of genuine leather. Now, this scabbard with this skull on it is functional. You can slide his sword in there, and once you push it all the way down, it sort of locks in, it clamps in place. Oh, I see you. Jungle Hunter belt right there, hidden by this belt made of PVC plastic. Now, you're meant to slide the pirate flintlock under this strap. It flares out at the bottom to accommodate the width of the barrel. I'm not going to do that, just because the pistol will be pushing up against this piece of leather, and for now, it's still in one piece, and I want to try and keep it that way. Are those fingers? Has he collected fingers as trophies, sitting on top of his sculpted bag? That's kind of nasty, but I'm also so here for it. The bicep armor is permanently attached to his bicep there. Then we've got the gauntlets. They're free floating. You can move them around. Fabric covering on that one. And don't forget, you can plug the blades into the other side. It's not the most secure fit in the world, but once you slide them in, I don't think I can display this figure without those blades. They're nice and shiny, and, I mean, come on. It's iconic. Predator with the wrist blades, gotta do it. We've not yet discussed the netting and the skin. It's real fabric netting, and it's not black, it's brown. So it's not overly contrasty. Everything looks quite organic, actually. The skin, more of a darker yellow color. Then the splotches, they're a light blue with a white dry brush over the top, a glossy finish to everything. Reptilian, I've already said that. Slick, gross, everything that it needs to be for Predator flesh. There's some musculature visible on the legs, but this connection, where you can see the hip joint plugged into the leg, that doesn't look great. I'm going to try and adjust the belts to hide those joints, but so far I've not really managed to do that. All of the little scratches and the markings on the armor plating, it tells a story. This is an older Predator. Literally, it's in the name Elder. He's been around for ages. He's been hunting frickin' pirates and who knows what else. The armor still looks metallic. It's got this sheen to it. But there's this layer of grunginess, this schmutz over the top, and that gold dry brushing / shading, plus some silver dry brushing in certain sections. Now, this leg armor looks very similar to what we see on Jungle Hunter. Even the brown ribbed sections, they're present on Jungle Hunter's leg armor. I've seen them do this every now and then. You'll have to let me know if it's accurate. If you know, maybe Dean can help out. His feet, claws, they're brown, whereas his fingernails, even that little claw at the back of his hand, black. So different colored claws, which is interesting. A lot of detail to look at on the feet, claws on either side. There's even some sculpt work and paint applications on the bottom. For a quick side-by-side comparison, don't they just look like $1,000,000 standing next to each other? There's similarities between Elder on the left and Classic on the right, but also a lot of differences. Entirely new torso, no quills down the middle, and Elder is bigger, he's more buff. The legs look larger too, and the paint applications for the body, Elder is more yellow in tone versus the paler look for Classic. Then I've got the biomask on my Classic, Elder doesn't have one, and he's got the blue dreads, plus the pierced mandible and the quills on his face. The armor plating is likely reuse, but the way it's been painted, again, different for Elder. I have no problem whatsoever displaying these two next to each other in the collection. I reckon Predator 2 is criminally underrated. It's not perfect. It's not as good as the first film. That's true. But the look of this Predator, the City Hunter, with the copper-colored armor and that green patina wash and the eagle shoulder pad, then the concept of the film itself is bonkers. Like, take a Jungle Hunter, but switch up the jungle. Now it's the concrete jungle. When you think about it like that, it's just an entirely different vibe, but there's a familiarity to it, if you know what I'm trying to say. Either way, Elder Predator next to City Hunter. City Hunter is larger than Elder is, and considering they're from the same clan, or the same tribe, it would totally make sense having these two together in the Predator display. Something like this. I keep referencing the display, the collection, what that's going to look like. I may as well just show you. Elder, City Hunter, Jungle Hunter / Classic, all standing next to each other. The gauntlets, I just realized on Elder, are not the same as Jungle Hunter / Classic. Instead, they've borrowed the gauntlets from City Hunter, which is interesting. Going over articulation, before we do this, it's not this figure's forte. He's not a brick, but he's also not far from it. Ball joint at the base of the neck, double ball peg underneath the head, looking forward to there. You can push it, but the head tends to pop off if you go too far. Looking up to there, gets slightly gappy underneath the neck seal. Swivel, and some pivot side to side. Shoulder pads are flexible, attached to the armor plating, going up to there on a hinge at the shoulder. Forward and back as this piece moves out of the way. A little bit of butterfly that also goes up and down. Swivel at the elbow, visible ratcheted single bend going to about 90, a very stiff joint. Then for the wrist peg, it's a ratcheted hinge and swivel. There's some movement at the waist, crunching forward and back, swivel and pivot, but not much. This is a nice improvement versus some of their older preds. Ratchets for the hips, so the legs they feel sturdy as. Going forward to there, maybe one more click, yep. Going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Visible joint for the knees around the back, single bend on heavy duty ratchets, getting you to about 45, let's call it. Then a hinge and swivel for the ankles. Think an oversized wrist peg. So for right now, they're set up for forward and back and rotation, but if you want ankle tilt, you need to rotate the joint underneath the boot guard so it's facing left and right, then you'll be able to make use of the tilt. Wrapping up on Hot Toys Elder Predator 2.0 from Predator 2. This figure, you need to get it. If you're on the fence, like I was, you're thinking, oh, maybe I'll get it eventually. No. You need to get it now, because it's so good. Like, it blew my expectations way out of the water. Usually when people hype something up and they've been talking about it for years and you've been thinking about it, your expectations go up and up and up, and there's no possible way that the real tangible figure could be that good. Not an issue at all with Elder Predator. He's not perfect. There's pleather issues and a visible elbow joint on the left arm, but I can ignore those things because everything else is top tier, especially the head sculpt. I could shoot that head sculpt for hours, and it would not be enough to capture the extent of the detail in that head. The quills, the different paint applications, the layering of paint, the spiky pieces, the raised little bumpy sections, the inset sunken eyes with the dark shading and that piercing green. This head sculpt is one of, if not their best Predator head sculpt of all time. So people who told me that, you were 100% correct. It took me a while to get here, but I've arrived, and this piece is not going anywhere. He is now a staple in my Predator collection. Taking this thing in, when you unbox it, you set him all up, and you have him standing there, it is a special moment. Hopefully, if you're trying to find him, you can grab him at a reasonable price, and you don't have as much pleather deterioration as I've had. I'm contemplating doing a restoration vid on this figure, replacing all of the pleather parts with genuine leather pieces. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that down in the comments. And stay tuned to the channel because there might be a trio arriving very soon, all in the one video. Now, if you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button so you're notified as soon as that Predator video goes live on the channel. And if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.